Hey, what's up? It's Jim, and I just got back from the new film Frozen. It's the 53rd film in the Walt Disney Classics canon. Two sisters named Anna and Ilsa. As they're growing up, Ilsa has the power to make like ice happen and stuff. She can make things frozen. She kind of hides in secret from her powers because she might endanger her sister Anna, and her parents keep her hidden away so she can't do that because of an earlier incident where she freezes her mind, but these trolls help her and all this stuff. Later her parents die, and as she's growing up and she's to be coronated, she's supposed to go in front of all these people, but she's nervous because she can't really quite control her powers. Basically kind of like a mutant out of control in the X-Men world or something like that is probably really the best way to describe it. During the coronation ceremony, when she won't give her blessing for Anna to marry this guy she met in one day, which is kind of crazy, but Ilsa has kind of a freak out during this, and she turns the whole kingdom into this frozen wasteland. And so Anna has to go and find Ilsa and kind of get her to change the kingdom back from this ice kingdom. I'd kind of given up on the kind of Walt Disney classic series, although I did like last year's Wreck-It Ralph. That was kind of more Disney doing Pixar almost. I just didn't have as much faith in it as I used to, specifically in traditional Disney films. Tangled, which was very Shrekky, making fun of the Disney princess thing while still being one. It's a fine movie, I guess. I just never fell in love with it. I'd kind of gotten sick of Disney trying to recapture the 90s magic. When they were the great animation studio, they were always known for trying different things. I think that's why they had such a long legacy as being the top animation studio. And when that began to falter and they're trying to recapture the magic, although I like Lilo and Stitch and Emperor's New Groove, after The Lion King it was kind of pretty bad. Those two are exceptions, but they're not really trying to be a Disney movie. Anytime they try to do a Disney movie, I think Tangled was probably the best example. I didn't really like The Princess and the Frog. Then this came along, and I honestly think this is probably one of their best musicals I've seen, animated musicals I've seen them do since their kind of Renaissance period. The music is very different from what they usually do, which I like quite a bit. It almost sounds like straight out of a Broadway musical. There's one part where Elsa, the Snow Queen, is walking around and singing, and this ice castle is going up around her, and it's just an amazing sequence technically. I mean, the animation in it is awe-inspiring, and the voice actress Ida Mensla is just like belting it out, and it's just like amazing. It was the first time a real Disney sequence had surprised me since the Disney Renaissance, and it was just amazing. But I could imagine her singing that on a Broadway stage. It's still animated and it's not like held back or anything. You still have all this amazing technical stuff and in 3D, which was very good, but it also really works as a kind of traditional Broadway musical, and it plays in that way. Like you can hear piano and stuff. It's not, I think most Disney musical numbers are played like a movie musical, and although this is technically a movie musical because it's a musical that's a movie, it's like kind of a different way to do a musical, but it's almost subtle that I don't think a lot of people would notice that. It kind of brings this film out and kind of surprised me, especially since the advertising isn't focused on the two girls, it's focused on Olaf, who is kind of annoying and kind of brings down the movie for me a bit, but he's not in it as much. When you see an animated sidekick, you expect like the Minions or trying to be Minion-like, and he's not really trying to do that. He's really just doing the annoying Disney sidekick thing, but he's not in it enough to really ruin the movie. I feel like he comes in the mid-second act, and the first act of this film is almost all music. Certain musical sequences say a lot about the two girls and their relationships. There's certain musicals where they'll have the character development be in song, the parts where in a movie you just have people talking, and all the other stuff would just be done with kind of normal dialogue. Gigi does that a lot. Like Gigi will have like a scene that in a normal movie would be a nice dialogue scene. Instead they'll do Thank Heaven for Little Girls, and in this film to show their relationship between the two girls, they have a song about the snowman, and then which is just an amazing number. The things they can do visually in this film I think shows the power of animation that only like the Walt Disney Studios can really do. How expressive visual animation can be. It's fun, it's lighthearted. The stuff they're doing in the visuals, and there's really not even that much going on in this castle. They're just stuck in this castle. But I was just kind of taken aback by like how many cool like visual things they could do with this. It almost reminded me of like what silent comedians can do. I'm kind of happy to have a Disney movie that's different, that's not trying to recapture something. It's just trying to be its own story. Now, this is kind of a very post-Tangled Disney film. Obviously, it's called Frozen. It's not called The Snow Queen, which it's based on the Hans Christian Andersen story, The Snow Queen, and they changed it to Frozen. The character design, when they make these kind of films with female protagonists, they really try to make the girls look like dolls, which I don't love the character designs in this film, but I got really past that and I was just kind of awestruck by the first act. Really until Josh Gad's character came in, I was like, this is like the best Disney movie I've seen since The Lion King. It was just so strong. I really haven't seen Disney do a first act like that since the Disney Renaissance, which was of course Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, and Lion King. It was just like amazingly well put together and with so much life and fun and kind of the beauty towards it, and still having that kind of like quirky little dialogue thing they have going on that they seem to love. It's like, is it Whedon-esque? Is it Sorkin-esque? I don't know. Ever since Tangled, they're really into that. This actually melds it pretty well and doesn't do the contemporary thing where it's trying to emulate DreamWorks or it's trying to emulate another studio. I really felt like this is like Disney doing Disney and doing it well, and it's like something I've wanted from them for so long with a traditional Disney film. It's definitely the best big budget mainstream animated film of the year, but I'm not counting The Wind Rises in that, but everything that's not The Wind Rises is better than. I also think it's probably one of the best movie musicals I've seen in like 20 years. There was a lot of times during the sequences where at the end I was like, holy fucking shit. And like, I haven't said that about a Disney movie. I mean, when I did, I was too young. I don't even know how you do this without the voice cast that you have. Both sisters, Kristen Bell as Anna and Idna Menzel, I'm sorry if I'm screwing her name up. She's just amazing as the Snow Queen. They're both just like very strong as the sisters, even though the character designs are not that different really. I mean, it's just like they have different hair kind of. They give them such different personalities that I'm almost not noticing that. You know what? It's funny, I've seen recently a lot of animated films where you have two characters who have the same character designs, and you can easily get confused. And that they brought such personality to it, and the way both of them belt out songs. But I mean, obviously, Idna Menzel is much better at it. If you saw this in another language, I don't even know what this would be like because they had so much personality. Right when Josh Gad comes out, the awe-inspiring, like me loving this thing and I'm walking on air because I'm so in love with this like Disney animated film. Right when he shows up, it kind of deflates it a bit, and when they get into the plot and they're doing less musical numbers and things like that, I really feel like the film loses a lot of steam, and my enthusiasm kind of went away. And although I think Josh Gad's musical number is actually fairly good, when they get into the plot stuff, it just didn't work as well. But it wasn't as amazing as the beginning, but I still think it's still a very, very strong film. There's a part in Frozen where they say, like, if the Snow Queen shoots your heart, then you turn into ice. And, you know, there's no way they can turn it back. And I felt kind of like that had been done to me with the traditional Disney movie. And the product I was seeing couldn't warm my icy heart. But in a way, I think Frozen kind of did. So if you have seen Frozen and you would like to talk about it, then comment below in the comments and subscribe if you would like to.